Hi, I'm Elinor Silverstein. Welcome to the Feldenkrais Guild of North America Conference Series, where the theme is breath. We will run live September 6th, the 27th, and October 18th, 2024. Today, I'm here with Kim Lawler-Coyle, and the title of her workshop is Rejuvenating Yourself from the Inside Out. But first, let me give you a little bit of history of Kim. She's been a physical therapist in California, Newport Beach since 1981, and an assistant through the Baral Institute with Visceral Manipulation since 1988. And she is in the process of writing a book. And for us to understand how Feldenkrais awareness through movement lessons affect the motility of our organs, and this is something I am so excited about because she's got proof. And so, Kim, tell us about your workshop and tell us about how you're going about doing this.
Oh, thank you, Eleanor. I'm humbled to be here. I really am appreciative of uh, you allowing me to speak and talk to everyone. So thank you. Uh, I've really enjoyed this melding of the Feldenkrais method and visceral manipulation. And I've been so excited about this. I've been writing a book for probably the last 10 years, believe it or not, working on the research. And then probably the last 8 years, I've been seriously working on the book. And it is called Rejuvenate Yourself from the Inside Out. And it will be produced by Baral Productions. Uh, so what I've done is I've just determined motility of an organ. And do you want me to go into what that is, or should
Well,
we
what I
just
want to know is how is that going to relate to breath and the conference,
sure?
the workshop?
So I have taken each organ, but let's specifically take the lungs, and we can measure the motility. There's a mobility and a motility of the organs, and the mobility is like the slide glide. They should move on each other, and yet there's ligaments to hold everything relatively in place, but that's the mobility. When you run, your small intestines jostle. When you bend over, your liver rolls over your colon. But the motility is an innate motility, and that motility is started from growth and development in our gut tube when we're within that first month of life. And it moves, we can palpate that movement of moving away from midline and toward midline. So I have evaluated that and I've assessed the motility of the lungs. And with that said, I have determined which Feldenkrais-based movements actually help increase the lung capacity or the motility of the lung. People can feel their diaphragm improving. I've measured the bronchi and the dome ligaments and things, but let's just keep it simple. And with the lungs, and then also the fissures of the lungs, because they actually can sometimes be moving in opposition, which I found a lot in COVID. And so from there, how to get them moving again properly.
Wow. I mean, this is groundbreaking.
It's been exciting. Yeah, it's been exciting because I really think it's going to bring justification for what we've always known we're doing. You know, yes, we can feel that breath improving. We see that diaphragm improving, but I'm taking the percentages and I've put it out on an Excel spreadsheet. So it's at 5,500 rows right now and still growing. So determining what works and what doesn't work, looking at that.
This is fantastic. Can you give an example of what kind of lesson Feldenkrais lesson that you're going to teach?
So I'm going to go through just some basic movements and share the qualities of what organs work and how that involves the lungs or the diaphragm or the bronchi and the lobes. So it'll be the sliding hands, the basic trunk rotation, seesaw breathing. I call it reciprocal breathing to be respectful to the Feldenkrais method.
Mhm.
And sliding hands, lying on your side, that, sliding hand gets your, if you're lying on your left side, it gets your right lung, your liver, your large intestine, where it goes around the hepatic flexure, but it's getting the lungs. And then if you lie on your right side, it's getting your left lung. So that's what we've seen. I've had one patient that was doing some of the exercises just because she was already on them, and she was the sickest in her family of all that had COVID, and they really considered taking her to the hospital. She said, Kim, I think it was the exercise that just kept me out of the hospital. So that was pretty
Yeah.
exciting for me to hear.
Wow. Thank you, Kim. Yeah, I found that for helping myself too back then.
Right?
So
Yeah, I
very much
remember
so.
your FaceTime, your Facebook pages and stuff. It was
Yeah.
it was
Too
great.
bad. Never seem to
Yeah,
get
and you
things
were
on to
doing
the
all the
level.
heart work and all of that. It was beautiful to see. Yeah,
Yeah.
so some of the movements and some of the lessons that people are doing already, I've looked at what people are doing. They're doing the movements. They're doing the lessons. I'm just going to bring the validation to the work. I hope that makes sense. In my book, Catherine Kukulka is my model. It's just about ready to go. It's going to be probably, it'll be out in 2025. So that's exciting for me. She was
And
just,
hopefully by the time we get the conference, we'll be able to get some kind of information where people can go further into
I will
finding a way to
do
get the
that.
book.
I do want to say I have a full chapter of the Feldenkrais method and Moshe's past history and how he developed it. And that came, from my inspiration because Mark Reese was writing the book when I was in my training program. And so every time he would be writing and reading and researching in the morning, we'd be laying on the floor that afternoon and he'd tell us everything that he was learning that day. It was a very amazing experience.
Beautiful.
So I hope that gets conveyed in the book as well, that, my love for the work.
We're looking forward to it and all the steadfast work you have done to move our work forward and how you're tying it in together with all of this that you do. So
Thank you.
thank you so much, Kim. I look forward to seeing you at our upcoming conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Eleanor.